I'm Ryan from ExtremeTerrain.com, and this is my review and installation of the Hella Vision Plus 7-inch round H4 Conversion Headlamp, fitting all 1997 to 2006 TJs. Today we're going to talk through the installation of this headlight, which is a very simple 1 out of 3 wrench conversion. But we're also going to talk about the light output and the light pattern, as well as a few other features of the headlight. From the factory, our TJs come with what's known as a sealed beam headlight, and that is the headlight that you see from the outside is all one piece. It's one large bulb. This unit here is a conversion to an H4 headlight, which means you have a housing, which is what you see from the outside, the glass and the reflector, and then you have a bulb that goes on the inside of that, which is replaceable. So what that allows you to do is have a housing that has really high quality optics, providing a lot of very useful light without blinding oncoming drivers, and a bulb that is replaceable so you can make sure that you always have a good bright bulb, and you also have a couple of different options as far as which bulbs that you install. An H4 conversion like this is a really nice step up from a factory sealed beam headlight in both light output and light pattern, and this is an option that right out of the box will go right into your Jeep, plug right into the factory harness, work really well, also work very easily, and be fairly inexpensive. There are some more expensive headlight options out there, from full projector LED headlights that can be $1,000 or more for a pair, and unfortunately these are not going to have the same light output as those will, and for the price difference you probably wouldn't expect it to. But if you need new headlights for your TJ, this is a way to spend a little bit more money and still get a big step up in light output without completely breaking the bank and going to the top of the top. This kit comes with a couple of different pieces. Of course, you have your reflector housing that has a dust boot on the back, and it does also come with a Hella bulb that is a 60 watt high beam, 55 watt low beam. Now, Hella says that the low beam puts out about 50% more light than your factory sealed beam, and the high beam is about 25% more than your factory high beam. And whether those are the actual numbers or not doesn't really make a difference. What really does make a difference is when you're driving down that dark back road, how much better you can see with this setup. I actually have these reflector housings in my Jeep, and they do make a big difference over a factory sealed beam headlight. These are going to provide a pretty sharp cutoff for a reflector headlight, which is what you want, but still provide a nice deep and wide pattern so you have plenty of usable light. Getting this headlight installed in your Jeep is a very simple process, and I'm going to give the installation a 1 out of 3 wrenches. All you'll need to get this done is a Torx bit or a Torx screwdriver to remove the headlight retention ring. There are 4 Torx screws around that headlight retention ring, and when you remove all 4 of them, the ring will come out and your factory headlight will come out as well, where you can simply unplug it, plug in your new headlight, align the tabs with the tabs in the headlight bucket. It can really only sit in there one way. And once it's aligned, reinstall your headlight retention rings with the factory hardware. And that's it. It is really that simple. Now, when you're taking off that retention ring, you do have to be careful because there are 4 screws that hold the retention ring in place, but there are also a couple of adjuster screws that are right next to it. You won't want to mess with the adjuster screws while you're swapping out the headlight. However, you will want to re-aim your headlights using those adjuster screws after you have these installed. As I mentioned, these do have a really nice pattern to them. They do have a pretty sharp cutoff for a reflector housing, but even with all of that taken into account, you will want to, anytime you change your headlights, go ahead and adjust those properly so you're not blinding oncoming traffic. This whole installation, again, shouldn't take you more than a half hour, and you won't need any special tools, just some Torx bits. It is important to remember that when you purchase these headlights, they are sold individually, and of course you'll need 2 for your TJ, so make sure you purchase a pair of them. Now, when you're talking about headlights and price, in my opinion, you always have to be comparing the cost to the light output, because of course you can spend over $1,000 on an LED projector headlight that's going to put out a ton of light in a very focused pattern, but that's at the $1,000 price tag. These are going to be a tenth of that, so you wouldn't expect them to have the same light output or the same beam pattern. But when you compare these to a factory replacement sealed beam bulb, they're not that much more expensive than what you would be able to get that factory replacement for. However, they are going to be significantly better if you're considering light output and beam pattern, which make these absolutely worth the cost in my opinion. So if you're looking to upgrade the factory headlights on your TJ so you have more light output and also more usable light, I think this is a really great way to go for not much more money than a set of factory sealed beam headlights would be. Of course, you can go and spend 10 times this much and get even more light with an even crisper pattern, but for the cost of these, I think they are a great improvement over factory. So that's my review of the Hella Vision Plus 7-inch round H4 conversion headlamp fitting all 1997 to 2006 TJs that you can find right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.